Okay, I'm Derek Brand. I'm here at BioFuture in New York with Ness Bermingham from Khosla Ventures. We just got off the panel on novel investment frontiers. You did an absolutely fantastic job. Thanks for joining us. This is your first time at BioFuture. How have you been enjoying the conference?
It's great. It's great to see everybody here. There's definitely a buzz of excitement, about the technologies that are out there and sort of how we're looking to the future.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful.
So, one of the things that, we covered is kind of where new science is coming from and, what kind of the big things on the horizon are from an investment standpoint. So where do you see things going now with kind of a challenging climate, either with, M&A and IPOs, et cetera? How do you look at new investments in data?
Well, look, the capital markets are tough, right? Both on the private side and public side today. But the science, I've been doing this 25 years. We've never been at such a great place from a scientific standpoint. Biology, AI, the modalities that are available to us from nucleic acid-based drugs, gene therapies, CRISPR-Cas9, genome editing technologies, all the way through into now patient stratification and getting into the clinic and moving beyond. So we're really at a phenomenal point. For us within Khosla Ventures, we're looking for those ideas that really are change how we think about medicine, change how we think about a patient, interacting, treating that patient, and getting the opportunity to be able to provide medicines to everybody. How do we actually get to every patient that requires a medicine out there today and give them the right medicine for the disease that they have to get to curative, as we were talking about on the panel?
Well, listen, you made a great point right at the end of the discussion, which is that timing is incredibly valuable, right? And we kind of sit at a time in history now where we actually have the ability to use a lot of the tools that we've developed and dig into a lot of the data sets that we've really never had before. Right? Can you talk a little bit about that and really what it means from a company formation standpoint?
Yeah, so when we think about the computational powers that we had, throughput capabilities we had from a screening standpoint, and actually just tools. The old toolbox we had was a screwdriver with a small molecule. We had then some recombinant proteins coming in, which is the hammer, and that's kind of it. Today, we've got siRNAs, ASOs, the list just goes on and on and on. So we now are at a point where we've got a huge toolbox. We've got AI and ML now to allow us to actually process this data and start to actually look at the complexity around it. We probably have quantum computing that's coming online in the next few years, hopefully, that will just amplify all of that up. So now we have the capability to be able to look at a disease like breast cancer, ovarian cancer, any of the inflammatory diseases, and start to say, for you as a patient, which type of disease do you actually have? And now design a drug for you. Ultimately, where we want to go to is personalized medicines, similar to what we have at CAR-Ts. Develop a drug specifically for you for the disease that you have that we can get to you, ideally to your front door, that you can then inject into yourself. That is the ultimate goal.
I think one of the nicest things about a conference like this that really is emblematic of where we've come in the last decade is now we're using cure in a sentence repeatedly. And from a creation standpoint, from an innovation standpoint, I think now we have the industry focused not so much on what's just going to be an effective medicine, but we're really thinking about patient populations where we say, what can we do to eradicate disease? And from a future healthcare standpoint, that's an incredibly powerful place to be.
It is. I think that on the positive side is absolutely. When I founded Intellia, people said don't ever use the word cure. And yet the reality is we're at that point.
Right.
But how do you define cure? Do you find cure for that one individual, or do you actually think about a cure as being eradication of the disease altogether?
Right.
And that leads to a whole complexity from a discussion standpoint. Ethical, moral considerations that we need to actually have a very open and frank conversation about. So, one of the biggest things about cure in my mind is no one should ever have to think about the disease or a disease, and their offspring should not have to think about it also, the burden of it. So how do we actually deal with a cure that's multi-generational versus one?
All right. Ness, thank you so much. You were fantastic on the panel, and Khosla is certainly a firm that I'm very happy is in life sciences. You're bringing all these different perspectives on innovation to something that I think is going to be really valuable for patients. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
This was great.
Thank you.